So, hey guys, today we're spreading, I guess, some love for Metalmorph. And there are a lot of things I've learned about Metalmorph from playing it, just a lot in general. So, first off, all of the Metalmorph cards are actually surprisingly a little bit better than you might expect. So, first off, if you look at the order of every single Metalmorph card, so the big Metalmorph guys, they can't be special summoned except with the effect of Max Metalmorph. But to compensate, they have this in-hand effect where it does something. It's actually not the same effect, believe it or not, on all of them. So, Red Eye's Black Full Metal Dragon says, reveal for cost, set one Metalmorph trap from your deck, and if you do, shuffle this card into the deck. So the order will be activate effect, and then you can set Metalmorph, any Metalmorph trap, and then if you do, shuffle this card into the deck, meaning this is actually technically an optional effect. So after we've resolved this part of the effect, we can actually, for example, if we really want to, we could banish Red Eye's Black Full Metal Dragon from our hand, and then we could go ahead and still set our Metalmorph trap. Of course, the caveat would be like, you still need a target to summon. But if we look at Flame Coating Metalmorph, it matters for this because this only allows you to special summon specifically from your deck, not the graveyard. But if we actually go to instead Max Metalmorph, this says it special summons from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Meaning we can discard, for Max Metalmorph specifically, if we had a card to discard or remove Red Eye's Black Full Metal Dragon from our hand for whatever reason, then we could do so to kind of build advantage. So for example, an idea would be like to do this with Branded Opening, because this is essentially a quick effect to discard. We can go Chainlink 1, Red Eyes Black Full Metal, Chainlink 2, Branded Opening. And then this will allow us to essentially cheat the cost part of Branded Opening. And we could technically also do this for like Chimera Fusion. I'm not sure if there's like a really good target to make with Red Eyes Black Full Metal, being a dark machine. But if there was a target that would be good, you know, we could make one, technically. Because this effect is in the main phase only anyways, we could use this to make, we'll go with like Guardian Chimera, I guess. Which I think is fairly reasonable to do. And then also worth mentioning is Metal Flame Swordsman, actually. This card right here, you can reveal this card, add one card that mentions Maximal Morph from your deck to your hand. This actually searches every single Metalmorph card, which means the consistency for this deck is actually not that bad. And if you think this might be a little bricky, I mean, if you play multiple Metal Flame Swordsman, I guess it could be bricky because this effect is a hard once per turn, but you know what's not a hard once per turn? Incoming Machine, for whatever reason. Let's see, you can only use this effect of Incoming Machine once per turn. Now let's read this effect. If you control Metalmorph Trap, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one defense position monster your opponent controls, change it to face-up attack position. This is the hard once per turn effect on Incoming Machine, by the way. Oh, the effect that says add one monster that mentions Max Metalmorph or Metalmorph Trap from your deck to or graveyard to your hand. Yeah, you can just activate this whenever, right? And just for a little bit more added synergy, I'll show you one consistency trick, because this adds Metalmorph cards specifically, right? From your graveyard or deck to your hand. So if we have Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, we can technically bounce back Metal Flame Swordsman to our hand to search Incoming Machine, which could then add, for example, Red Eye's Metal Claws Dragon, which we can special summon by sending any face-down card you control to the graveyard. So for example, if I set Ash Blossom Justman, that's sufficient to summon Red Eye's Metal Claws Dragon, which then allows us to grab a Max Metalmorph in your field or graveyard and add it to our hand. And this is relevant because Red Eye's Metal Claws Dragon also has the fact that you can activate Metalmorph traps the turn they were set. There's actually no restriction on this, if you're aware. So technically, if I have Max Metalmorph, Flame Coating, and Time Engine, then you could resolve all of these effects. Let's see. Yeah. We could resolve all of these effects in effectively the same turn, because these are all Metalmorph cards. We can just activate 3 traps that we set this turn off of Red Eyes Metalclaws Dragon, which is actually kind of sick. And also, of course, even if we play only one copy of Red Eyes Metalclaws Dragon, we can play 3 copies of Incoming Machine. We can play 3 copies of Metal Flame Swordsman. And then this puts us at, effectively, if we really want to see Red Eyes Metalclaws Dragon here, we have 3 copies of the Metal Flame, 3 copies of Incoming Machine, and then 1 copy of Red Eyes Metalclaws Dragon, putting us at an effective, like, 7 copies of this card, which is relatively insane consistency to be able to access this extender if we ever want to see this extender, right? So that's pretty crazy. The one downside the one thing that kind of sucks about this deck, I'd say, is Metal Flame Swordsman is a fire monster. That's probably the biggest downside I have with this, because Chaos Base searches monsters, specifically only light or dark monsters, but it's any light or dark monster with a level from 4 to 8, and it has to be a different attribute. But yeah, wait, this is level 6. Yeah, it never mattered, does it? No, wait, you can actually search this. Yeah, it's fine. But what you can do with Chaos Base is pretty gnarly. So if we're playing a light or dark deck with, I guess, Red Eyes, is insane synergy with Chaos Base. So we'll go with this example, right? We open Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon with Chaos Base, okay? So what we can do here is we Chaos Base to discard the Red Eyes Black Full Metal, grab Lubellion. Lubellion grabs us Magnemite. Magnemite can then banish our copy of Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon, but no worries, we can shuffle it back with Chaos Base, which has the effect to target a banished light or dark monster that cannot be normal summon / set, which in this case, Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon does meet these conditions, allowing it to be shuffled back. So even if we were playing one copy, that this would be a perfectly reasonable play to be doing. And now, if we think about this in terms of hand cards, we're only down -1, kind of, because we can then Lubellion over Magnemite, and then we have access to Branded Regained, which can summon Magnemite next turn, and then Druid Swarm, which could then, well, assuming our opponent is actually not playing a deck that has any light or dark monsters that ever go to the graveyard, then we can Druid Swarm, banish our own, like, Magnemite, put back Magnemite, or we could banish, I guess, like, Lubellion, it kind of depends. Put this back, Magnemite, if they normal or special summon, to add more follow-up, so any, like, dragon monster can get added to our hand. So it could be another Bistral, it could be, like, Black Metal Dragon, or any other dragon base deck you're playing. And then that's just follow-up plus regain draw off of the Bistral that we have, right? So yeah, that's off of just Chaos Base, plus in this case it could be Red Eyes Black Full Metal, it could be Metal Zoa, it could be Black Metal Dragon. All of these kind of can get us a card to pitch here, right? And yeah, just get stuff done. So Chaos Base, Insane Synergy, and while we're at it, if we have a light monster in our hand, then we can go Chaos Base, discard. So for example here, it could be Metal Illusionist or Bistral Lubellion. I mean, it's more niche in this build, but this allows us to then grab Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon or Metal Zoa, which we can then activate the effect to set a Max Metalmorph or Flame Coating Metalmorph or just any Metalmorph trap, really. Which is pretty damn good, I'd say. And the synergy with Black Metal Dragon specifically in Chaos Base is also pretty damn good. So the line for this, let's see, what was it? It was something like activate Black Metal by linking out for Striker. Striker gets banished by Darkness Metal, and then we can summon back Black Metal, link off Black Metal for, I guess, like, seals, And then we can grab, I guess it would be Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon here. We could also grab Metal Claws Dragon. We could grab whatever, right? Because this is a Red Eyes, this is a Red Eyes. We can also grab this for an extra body because this is also a Red Eyes. But then, like with Chaos Base, because we banished with specifically it'll be Red Eyes Darkness Metal. This allows us to Chaos Base here to shuffle back the copy of Striker, because this can't be normal summon slash set. And then we have the idea of grabbing like Magnuma here, and then we can tribute actually with Lubellion, we can tribute the Red Ice Darkness Metal, and then Magnuma to banish whatever we want to shuffle back with Regained. So in this case, it could be like Black Metal Dragon, and that's just synergy, I guess. So yeah, I'd say pretty damn cracked. And if we specifically add like Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, this actually has the potential to play around Nibiru as well. And there's also the idea of like special summoning Red Eyes Metal Claws Dragon to play around the Nibiru. And even if you do get Nibiru, you will always see a way into Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon, because this will be able to, because you resolve Magma effect to search, and you will have a Max Metal morph on the field. Then you next turn do something like Special Summon Druisworm, banishing hopefully one of your opponent's cards, I guess. And then we can tribute this, send one of their Special Summon monsters, Special Summon Black Full Metal, and it's just synergies everywhere. The Metalmorph cards are surprisingly like competent. I think the best cards to pair with this would be like either Bistrals plus Chaos Space or Black Metal Dragon, I guess. Even if you're not playing like a Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, if you're playing Red Eyes Darkness Metal, this just goes insanely hard. And opening this card doesn't feel that bad either, honestly. It's pretty fine. Depends on the exact hand, but we're pretty dragon heavy in this particular build, so just absolutely chillin', I'd say. And anything else here worth mentioning? I guess the one thing that sucks the most, I'd argue, but is kind of a positive, is that we have Metal Illusionist here with this effect here to set a Metalmorph trap from your deck. Then if Max Metalmorph is in your graveyard, you can draw one card. This effect here is ashable just because of this, even if you don't have a Max Metalmorph in your graveyard. So that sucks, but bright side, if Metal Illusionist is ashed, they don't have an ash for your Max Metalmorph, which you see a lot of access to, right? So if we just do a random test hand, let's see if we have access. Well, as you can see, we definitely have access. We have 2 Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragons, plus a Max Metalmorph. So we have 3 copies of Metalmorph effectively in our hand in this hand, right? And then we have Metal Zoa plus Red Eyes Metal Claws Dragon. This is ashable because it can add from your deck here, which is not like super great, but Visual Lubellion's an Ash Magnet, Chaos Base is an Ash Magnet. All of these cards are kind of Ash Magnets. So unless your opponent has 2 Ashes, they probably wouldn't have held it for Max Metal, so you're pretty chill a lot of the time. Oh, like, look, we have Black Metal Dragon here. This is another Ash Magnet right here. And yeah, I mean, this hand kind of needs to resolve this, unfortunately, but whatever. Having multiple black metals in your opening hand actually isn't that bad either, because you can just equip this onto a Red Eyes monster you control, and then link that off. And you can just search multiple Red Eyes cards, because there's no hard ones to return on this anywhere, so pretty nice. And let's see, what am I missing here? Oh yeah, there is one other thing, isn't there? Oh, worth mentioning, I guess, is Zoa, the Fiendish Beast, is good against stun, because even if I run one copy of this, I have the idea of Metal Flame to search my incoming machines. I have Incoming Machine to add back a Zoa in the graveyard, and then I can just keep normal summoning this. And this is bigger than Clockwork Knight's any Clockwork Knight like stun monster for the most part. There's like a few exceptions to this, but for the most part, Zoa can just run over our opponent's cards and would just normal summon this several times, of course, of a duel. So yeah, that's pretty solid, I guess, at least. And I think there's something else important that I'm forgetting that's really important here. What was it? Well, if I forgot, surely it's not that important. Well, a few things worth mentioning, I guess, is Red Eye's Black Meteor Dragon has an effect to add Red Eye's Fusion from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which means you technically summon Dragoon. I wouldn't copy this deck list bar for bar. There's like some optimizations that could be made, honestly, but whatever. Just little optimizations mostly, I'd say. Let's see. What else are we missing? There's like something really important that I can't remember about Metalmorph here. Oh, right. Red Eyes Metalclaw's Dragon. And also the is this a spellcaster or an illusion? It's called Metal Illusionist, but it's not an illusion monster. And also, just you know what? I'm not even going to go there, but it can be destroyed by battle. Would be useful if this wasn't destructible by battle, But okay. Red Eyes Metalclaw's Dragon specifically requires a Max Metalmorph in your field or graveyard. And Flame Coating Metalmorph is not Max Metalmorph, only Max Metalmorph is Max Metalmorph, right? And Metal Illusionist requires also a Max Metalmorph in your graveyard. And it's optional to equip Max Metalmorph. So for example, if it comes up, we can go like Tribute, whatever, Bestial, Special Summon, Red Eyes, Blackfold, Metal Dragon. Optional to equip, so we don't equip, and then we can go like Normal Summon, Metal Illusionist to set a Metalmorph trap, and then also draw a card. I mean, if it comes up, it comes up. So yeah, I think that's about everything. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.